Hello everyone, welcome to the new series of Drishti IAS. I am Ritu and today we are going to discuss an important topic of economy, which is what is hawkish pause. So this topic is important from GS3 perspective. Before moving to the points of discussion, first of all we will discuss previous day MCQ. So the question was, which of the following features the Henley Private Wealth Migration Report? Your answer is D, which is International Residence and Citizenship Advisory Firm Henley and Partners. Moving to the points of discussion. First of all, we will discuss the news. A brief about US Federal Reserve System. What is hawkish pause? Is RBI and Fed are hawkish in nature? Practice question for prelims. Moving to the news part. So recently, the Federal Reserve System of US has decided to take a pause. And what is this pause? So this pause is termed as a hawkish in nature. So this is in news, and why we are discussing this topic, because recently in this month itself RBI has also decided to take a pause, and it has decided that it will not raise their interest rate. In this session we will discuss the RBI issue also and the US Federal Reserve System issue also, and they both are co-relational in nature. We will discuss in further slide. So this is the news that US Federal Reserve System has taken the decision to pause. Moving to the next slide, which is a brief about US Federal Reserve System. In the last lecture we have discussed what is RBI. Here we will discuss US Federal Reserve System. So it is a central bank just like RBI in India, and it is also called bankers of the bank. And in the short term it is called Fed. And when it was established, so it was established in 1913 when there was a financial panic of 1907 in US. So what happened in 1907, that there was a financial panic, disruption, bankruptcy in the US. So it has been decided that there should be an institution which can look all these financial panic and disruption kind of situation in the country. So this bank has been formed. And this bank is one of the most powerful institution of the world. So this is a brief history about US Federal Reserve System. In the comment section you have to answer that who is the chair of US Federal Reserve System. So moving to the next slide. What is hawkish pause? So here we will discuss what is hawkish pause. So hawkish is a situation in which a central bank could which has a very low threshold, could not tolerate much variation in the economy. So it decided that there will be pause in the economy and they will not raise the interest rate or repo rate in the economy. So when this thing is applied, the hawkish thing is applied, when any central bank just like RBI and US Federal Reserve decided to take a pause in the current ongoing economic scenario. So this is the situation when they decide. On the other hand, they also want to control the inflation target in the country. So what is the inflation target of India and the US? So currently India has 4% inflation target and the US has 2% inflation target. In the comment section you have to tell what is the current repo rate of India. Moving ahead, is RBI and Fed are hawkish in nature? So in the last slide we have discussed that what is hawkish situation. In this slide we will discuss two more things. One is dovish and second is pigeon. So there are three instances by a central bank. One is hawkish. We have already discussed that when central bank is not in a situation and its threshold is very low, so it could not tolerate much variation. So they decided to take a pause. So but this hawkish nature is not a permanent in nature. They always look for a situation where they can raise the interest. So when the situation got controlled, they raise the interest immediately. So this thing is called hawkish. On the other hand, what is dovish? So dovish is a situation where a country or a bank look for a positive development and economic development of a country. So it lowers the interest rate. On the other hand, pigeon is a situation which falls between hawkish and dovish, where a decision can be made by a consensus. So there is no single head involved in the pigeon situation. So why this situation is called hawkish in nature? And because both RBI and US Federal Bank Reserve has decided to take a pause. So because here the RBI governor has said that whatever the decision has been taken in April, it is not a pivot point, which means it is not an axis point where the interest rate will remain the same, or it will always in a pause condition. If they find situation in the control, in the next meeting they will also raise the what you can say interest rate. So in the month of June there was a meeting by RBI. So in that meeting also they have decided to take a pause. Why they have decided to take a pause? Because by following the pause thing, the inflation rate was in control, the economy was growing in a very positive trend, the GDP has a good sign. So that is the reason they have decided to take a pause. And in the RBI case, it is also a reason that, you know, probably the US will take pause in this month. So this could be one of also the reason that RBI has taken the pause. So that's why this thing is called hawkish in nature, because RBI governor has said that this thing is not permanent. Whenever they find situation in the control, they will raise the interest. The same thing has been also said by the chair of the US Federal Reserve System. That's why this whole move is called hawkish in nature. We have already discussed what is dovish, what is pigeon, and what is hawkish. So you need to find out the difference between all these terms. Moving to the question part. So this is practice question for prelims. Your question is, stagflation is a situation in which, your options are a situation characterized by simultaneous increase in prices and stagnation of economic growth. Option B is general rise in the price level of goods and services over a period of time within a particular economy. C is widespread drop in economic activity that lasts more than a few months and is reflected in a real GDP. Fourth is, which is option D, general fall in the price of commodities. So you have to answer this comment section that which of the following options are correct, and along with all these things you have to find out the difference between inflation, stagflation, recession, deflation. So you need to know that what is the difference between all these terms. I hope you like this lecture. If you have any queries related to this lecture, kindly comment. Thank you.